So we got to figure out what quadrant theta is in. Forget about 2 theta. We're not worried about him right now. I have a positive sine and a negative cosine. That's quadrant 2. Here's my angle theta. Draw the triangle, opposite over hypotenuse. Use Pythagorean to find the third side. It's called A here. So A squared plus 25 should be 49. A squared would be 24. So right here. So A is the square root of 24. Just leave it like that. Okay, now we've got to put in the pluses and minuses ourselves. We're in quadrant 2. This is a negative x value. Tangent of 2 theta. We've got to go to our formula sheet. Here's the formula for tangent of 2 theta. I'm going to write that down. That uses x's. I'm going to use thetas instead. So here's our formula. In this formula, I've got some tangent of thetas floating around. So I need to use my triangle. Use the triangle to find tangent of theta. Tangent of theta will be opposite over hypotenuse. So that's twice 5 over negative root 24 over 1 minus that thing squared. 5 over negative 24 root 24 squared. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and simplify this, but honestly, I could literally just type it in like that. But let's simplify that. So that's 2 over 1. So that will be 10. I could bring that negative up on top over square root of 24. Down here, to square a fraction, square the top and bottom. 1 minus 5 squared would be 25. Square root of 24 squared is 24. The negative, squaring a negative, it just disappears. Okay, so now in order to add these fractions on the bottom, I need a common denominator, 1 minus that. Let's call this 24 over 24. So 24 over 24 minus 25 over 24 will be negative 1 over 24. So that negative on top and that negative on bottom, those just cancel. So now I've got 10 over root 24 over 1 over 24. I can do a little keep, change, flip action. Fraction divided by a fraction, keep, change that to multiply, flip that guy over, 24 over 1. And I could call this 10 or times 24, 240. I could do this over root 24. And that's an acceptable answer there. Or I could think, wait a minute, I have to rationalize that denominator. Remember rationalizing denominators? So I've got the square root of 24 in the bottom. In order to get rid of that, multiply top and bottom by root 24. On the top, let's multiply all 3 of those together. 240. You know what? I'm not going to multiply those yet because I know what's going to happen. I'm just going to write them out. 24, 10, root 24. On the bottom, root 24 times root 24 is 24. That will cancel that 24. And we just get 10 times the square root of 24. So we had to do a little bit of arithmetic there. This is all really intermediate algebra. The trig stopped here. This was the answer. We could have just stopped there. we're really careful typing that in. I think my math lab would accept that. Okay, so the tangent ones always turn out to be the most arithmetic, but they're not too bad. Okay, let's do one more. Let's say, let's get interesting. Let's say secant of theta is 5/2, and cotangent of theta is negative. Let's find sine of 2 theta. So the first thing we got to do is find our quadrant. Remember, secant is just 1 over cosine. So cosine must be 2/5. So I've got a positive cosine. Cotangent and tangent always have the same sign. They're either both positive or both negative. So cotangent would be negative here and here, 2 and 4. Cosine is positive here and here. So we have to be in quadrant 4. This is the only place where both of these could be true. Secant is positive, but cotangent is negative. So let's use our information to draw the triangle. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Use Pythagorean to find the third side. Let's call it b. So 4 plus b squared is 25. B squared is 21. B is plus or minus the square root of 21. Now we look at our picture and figure out whether it's positive or negative. Oh, that goes down. So negative root 21. Again, notice I have not pulled out a calculator yet today. I guess to do 144 minus 25 I did, but it's not really a calculator problem. Sine of 2 theta. Look into my formula sheet. You should check this. You get, this is the formula in the formula sheet. Sine of 2 theta is twice sine of the original from the picture times cosine of the original. So sine of 2 theta will be twice, looking at my picture, opposite over hypotenuse, negative root 21 over 5 times cosine. That one I already had written down, but I could also get it from the picture. Remember, this is 2 over 1. Multiply across the top. That's negative 4 root 21 over, multiply across the bottom, 25.